Little bit of channel business here, if I may. I actually, unfortunately, uploaded a perfectly great video about a user who had tried to say that because of my research, because of trying to find effective means by which to treat victims, sex offenders themselves, and especially pedophiles, so that those who can be rehabilitated. And you know my positions by now, or most of you should understand my positions by now. Nothing about what I say at all excuses when a pedophile crosses the line and actually commits an offense against a child. I have never said otherwise, full stop. But if you want a good laugh at this person's non-argument, basically saying that my brain is evil and I'm an abomination, and he'll be happy when Yahweh destroys all evil as Yahweh is supposed to be doing any second now, any day now. And that so for me, trying to enact things like effective sex laws that actually go after the people who are harming kids versus going after kids for just being sexual beings, that makes me evil. Yeah, so it was a non-argument to all of the information I had pointed out. And in the end, it's mostly just somebody trying to go for the weakest link of my videos and trying to act as if throwing God into the mix somehow makes them right automatically. So if you go to the links from my sister channel, any one of my playlists is usually going to be work from my sister channel. You can just go to the newest video on the channel and check it out. I think it's worth a chuckle, but I think I also made some very good points. Thus why it's going to stay where it's at, since that is kind of the channel where most of the pedophilia stuff is at this point, though I do talk a little bit about it here and there. Though this channel, like with everything else, isn't going to be focused on solely that. But I also made mention of a blog called iloveasexoffender.org that looks at trying to get realistic changes in these ludicrous and horrifically ineffective sex laws that we have that keep the sexual molestation rates in this country, as well as I would say in many cases the world, at unacceptable rates. But yeah, no, for me and people like I Love a Sex Offender blog, we're evil because we're actually trying to fix this problem rather than make it worse. We're actually trying to help the kids and make the kids safer. And for our efforts, we're evil. I mean, seriously, is that not a laugh riot to most of you out there? It is to me because frankly, I don't see the logic in that. You know, I'm actually trying to fix the problem and the whole excuse me, and the hole we've dug ourselves into, excuse me, with our non-surgical laws that cost us millions. I could break down the ineffective nature of our sex laws as they are and how much they are costing us. Something that I would at least like to think the Republicans among us out there would be interested in. And no, our preconceived notions that our war on sex and pedophilia especially is working trumps any and all logic in terms of being hit in the wallet. Spending millions, literally millions of dollars of taxpayers' money for programs that have no effect on recidivism is apparently progress and is preferred to fixing the broken system we have in place that oftentimes hurts innocent non-pedophiles more than it does the times when pedophiles um, actually do encounter offend against a child. Excuse me. It's been a very long day, but it's been a very exciting day here. But Realistically, I just honestly don't think I have the time to go through half of the material in terms of my other research projects as I had hoped. I'm getting behind on the mod, I'm getting behind on work around here, I'm getting behind on everything I need to do to prep um, for my career, for getting everything set in stone so that instead of being where I'm at now, I could be in a better place doing better things for better people. So honestly, I don't know what to do about that. I don't want to drop the projects, but at the same time, I've got so many commitments, which is partially my fault. I'm not going to act as if, oh, woe is I, but how did I get here? I know exactly how I got here. What this means in the long run is just, I don't know, before I go anywhere in life, before my major careers, before just shutting off doing any activist work and just switching to pure entertainment, which I know it's hard for some of you to believe that I'm actually capable of being funny, I'm actually capable of being entertaining, but I've got so many ideas, and I'm getting to be with somebody who wants to help develop these ideas and be something that on our off hours, when we're not parenting, well, I mean, you're never really not parenting, but when the kids are asleep and things of that nature, then we do a sketch comedy show together and we do things that are entertaining. I don't like the idea of having to realistically give up my activism. I really don't. But I really have no choice. I cannot, in good faith, ask my partner or my other kids, or stepkids, I should say, to risk themselves over things that the world doesn't want to hear, but it needs to hear. You know, this is where I tend to be effective when I'm helping people out in the real world. What little help I can be at times is sometimes I gotta say it like it is, because sometimes coddling somebody is just enabling them, and that doesn't work for anybody. And really, frankly, everything that I've talked about is effective. If it's not effective for me, that's rather meaningless. I mean, if this were, it would be one thing if I were talking, say, food products or vaccinations or miracle medicines. If I couldn't demonstrate that it worked for me, but yet I'm trying to say that it's 100% effective for you in areas of things like that, then you'd have something. But the Snake Plisskenist is a user I've been following for quite a long time, and I tend to agree with him most of the time, but I did disagree with him on for a while till he did some clarification, but I still feel some more is needed on some level. He basically tried to say that introspection is bullshit. You know, this is like that movie with John Heder and uh, God dang it, Billy Bob Thornton, where he's a professor who runs a self-help group by basically telling these people that they suck and that the guru is the only one who can fix them because self-help books are garbage because yourself sucks. Otherwise, how did you get in these problems? There is some truth to that, but that's the the crux of the situation. The issue that ends up happening is individuality. For me, introspection worked wonders. For others, it's not going to work. And I would never try to be ludicrous enough to guarantee that introspection works 100% of the time. But I'm gonna expunge my ideas, my teachings, my philosophy of things for those who it might work for, because honestly, statistically, there are going to be people who are helped out by what I say and helped out in meaningful ways. and can get their lives onto a bigger track. I mean, heck, my girlfriend is certainly somebody who I've helped out in ways that I don't even fully understand myself, but it takes a bit of finesse. It also takes, in my case, coming from a lot of the same places that she did. And I know that I and she are not alone in our lives or our life history. And the damage that was done to us, that I've undone a lot of, could be undone in a lot of these people and enable them to then maybe seek out bigger and better professionals at this who can then help to fix these people so they can have better lives. Oh, but no, I'm just spinning yarn, right? I'm just BSing you guys because I have some book to sell or some seminar. No. See, this is why I don't like things like, say, luminosity, the whole brain training thing, which can sometimes help the brain, but it's not going to make you any smarter, as studies have shown. Part of me is like, well, if this really works, granted, I get it. People need jobs, people need money, but there comes a point where it's like, if this is really half as effective as they say, you know, look at Jonas Salk. This guy could be a millionaire a billion times over developing the polio vaccine. And no, I'm not going to get into discussions and conspiracy theories about how the vaccine was made, and thus Jonas is evil. Screw you. The point is, with me, I look at this as, if I can help people, then why should I get paid for this? I would rather people had free and open access to what I can do for people than to sit here and say, oh yeah, I'm this big guru. I've got all these client cases that are really, taking off, and I could help you too. I just don't have it in me to be that slimy. And really, my life has been centered around helping everybody out. It always has been, sometimes to my own detriment. My mission hasn't changed, even if most of the world has taken a big steaming dump on me at times, because I'm not handsome enough. If I were at times a woman, some of you would listen better and might actually follow through on the advice. If I were like Onision type of symmetry and everything else that people like Greg are gifted with but didn't earn, then maybe you might look at me and take my stuff a little bit more seriously. Myself is about not caring about that. If that's what you're putting stock in, then you need way more than my help. And I'm not trying to purposely insult people here, but for gosh sakes, if all you want is a beautiful presentation, somebody with big jugs and a slightly partially buttoned shirt, or you want somebody who is aesthetically pleasing to you in order to tell you the things that you don't want to hear, then what good is this? Because then I have to hire somebody. I have to hire people to tell you these things. And then, even then, you might just be more enamored in the model than you would in the message. And this shouldn't need wrapping. The truth shouldn't need special effects and sparkles and Vegas Pro 9 Pro or whatever people use for their big budget video editing and all this other stuff. It should be palatable to everybody. I am, in many ways, an everyman. And I'm trying to come at you as an everyman who has been broken in life, but has pieced himself together and feels that even when life sucks at its most suckiness, it's still better than just offing yourself or giving up or settling into the role that society expects you to be, such as the worm. So I think I'm going to continue on a lot of that journey, whether people are going to be sort of Snake Plissken can try to say, oh, this is worthless stuff. This is worthless dribble. Fine. I can't help everybody because I don't have enough experience or expertise to help everybody in every situation. But I can guarantee you the downtrodden who've been in my position, they'll find this very invaluable.